This is a quick and simple video about how to get started with working on WordPress sites, and we're going to use Dusoma stuff as an example. Obviously, website design is just one of these pesky issues. I've been working with web design for over 25 years, and this stuff never just gets easier, less buggy. Been working with WordPress for 10. That never gets less buggy. Templates end up being totally unstable. Chicago Art Magazine is gone because of a template. So when we do this website, we're just going to use off-the-shelf WordPress, a little bit with blocks, but let me kind of show you how to kind of jump in and very quickly start modifying and fixing up the site using ChatGPT. So a couple things. So first of all, let's look at the site itself. Okay, hold on. Soma.org. Okay, and so the butterflies are just way, way, way too big. And there's a space here. And then it looks terrible on a phone. So how do you start fixing these things? We want this to be less tall. So the first thing is that to make these butterfly smaller and this banner less tall, we have to make the image wider. Eventually, these will be 3 clickable things, but that's a whole thing. But this is about process and how you begin to start. So the first thing I do is I work with ChatGPT just to kind of get some designs. So this was what it generated. And so you can see the banner is less tall. It looks like this. And so then, and then I'll show you something else. That's not what I want. Okay. So there's that. And then, I, worked on copy. It helped me, figure out like the about pages. I did worksheets for myself and the team to just kind of say like, how do we keep this simple? How do we only have a few menu items across the top? And then I said like, generate a, like, show you the chat where I did this. Okay. And so then, I say, so first so here, let me just kind of walk you through it. So this is how we came up with the 5 top level menu items, and again, it's not perfect and I, use human judgment. But then, kind of a writing task. And then, in one sentence, what does it do? And then, start to come up with some stuff. And then, then it gets more specific how we work. Some of this I used, some of I didn't. Then I made it generate an image of a home screen that has copy on it. I'd like to see where you put the hero section and just see how it looks. And so I like this a lot. It looks professional, it's clean. And you can see that I'm in the process of copying it. But what I like is that, so on the home page, we're going to have the 3 big butterflies, but then on sub pages, we could just have something that looks a little bit like this. So how do you fix WordPress and make it look like this? What do you do? So what I do is, let's look at old prompts. Like if I say WordPress, you will see probably hundreds of prompts related to it. So here's my little hack, and this can be in my latest online class. So let's see. Okay, dimensions. Okay, so what I do and what my method has been is that I used to just put in a screenshot and say, ChatGPT, help me. Then I had this breakthrough, and this is my hack that I've been talking about. What I do now is I say, when you can't help me figure out what button to actually click, ask me for a screenshot. So, let's go through my thread. And so the first thing it did that was cool is we talked about, we, meaning the robot, We talked about like what do websites do to have like a branding theme that like all three websites do. So it even had me look at like the UNICEF site, and we did some stuff with image generation and some stuff with Midjourney, fonts, all that stuff, and it really just saves me tons and tons of time. Then I'm like, ooh, we've got the sound wave image. Take this butterfly, use this texture, and then it gave me this butterfly, which will be the butterfly for the Marla AI. And then this one's for the foundation and the gold coins. Um, then it gave me this as the layout. So this is what's really helpful. So then we're like, okay, I like this. This looks good. I like the colors. I like how this is, there's a gold line under this and this and this. And so like, how do you do it? How do you have ChatGPT teach you how to do it? So let's look at the back end of dusoma.org. And then we're going to say like edit page. And this is where you start getting into the ability to edit. So like uh, to, uh, you know, okay, so that was like something I was thinking about. So anyway, so obviously this is editable. This is just a big image. This is editable. And then interestingly, when you look at this on a phone, these headers look fine on a workstation. And let's see if it shows. Yeah, no, on a phone, this is actually totally wrong. These are teeny tiny. So, like teeny tiny text. So, how do you fix all this? So, the answer, and why I'm making this video and delegating this, is that it is still painstaking. Like in the future, in 5 years, ChatGPT is probably gonna, or WordPress will probably have a whole widget that does this, but not today. So, again, so I'm saying to ChatGPT, when you don't know what to do, give me a screenshot. So let me show you where I'm at and the next things to fix. So, okay, so we move on from content. So make the black banner shorter. What's happening? And then this isn't actually even quite right, but it'll say, click on the parent block of the image, in this case, the stack inside hero. So then you go here, and here's the stack inside hero. And so it's a mix of this stuff and then a mix of this stuff. So between this section and this section, it probably has a setting. But like I said, so I take, and so let me just go back to this. So then you'll see it's not quite working. And then it gets into CSS, and I'm like, no, there's got to be a way. So like working on removing the white space. So again, it's thinking it's margins and padding, not quite right. And then you can see, tell me what to click and ask for screenshots. So again, it just sometimes I have to Google it again. Sometimes I have to kind of learn what it's called or whatever. Again, this wasn't right. I did click all this, and anyway, so I say, let me Google this question. This isn't working. So then we talk about dimensions. So anyway, so it's a painstaking thing, point by point. You do end up just getting better at WordPress, but that is my technique. So what we're working on today as a organization is, again, we want, and let's go back to the library, and I'll be sharing these with the team. But again, we want the menu on subpages to look like this. And so you just sort of put this screenshot in and say, let's talk about menus. You can do a screenshot of what you see on your phone, and just take it step by step, little by little. And when you get really stuck, you can talk to me and we can do more research. But this is basically how I've refreshed working in WordPress after not using it for almost 10 years. Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.